I'm here for Banned Books Week, and the book that I chose to talk about is The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian by Sherman Alexie. This book was published in 2007. It is a New York Times bestseller and a National Book Award winner. The history of its banning is that in about January of 2009, in a high school in Oregon, a parent complained that he felt it was offensive. The school board reviewed that and decided to take the book out of the classroom but continue to make it available to students at the school library. They also set up a committee of people to review the book. Those people included teachers, administrators, a librarian, and the general public. Their recommendation for the book was to reinstate it without restrictions. The school board chose not to follow that recommendation and decided to let it remain only in the school library pending their review of their policies on instructional materials. The only other trail I could find about the banning of the book was that in approximately March of 2009, the Kids Right to Read Project filed a petition with that school board asking for the book to be reinstated. After that point, the web goes cold, and I couldn't find out what the current status of the book is at that high school in Oregon. So that's the history of the banning. Now a little bit about the book. We meet Junior. His full name is Arnold Spirit Jr. He's a 14-year-old boy who lives on the Spokane Indian Reservation in Wellpinit, Washington. Arnold is a unique person. He was born with water on the brain. He was not expected to survive the surgery needed to cure his problem. He did survive, but he was left with an enlarged skull, the need for eyeglasses by the age of 3, 10 extra teeth, a seizure disorder, and a lisp. Needless to say, he was used to hearing words like retard and hydrohead from his classmates. Despite all this, he was looking forward to school. He really liked school and he was good at it. We also meet his best friend, Rowdy. Rowdy is an angry teen for good reason, which you will find out when you read the book. He is Junior's best friend. He's the person he figures he's spent most of his time with during his life. He's the person he tells his secrets and his hopes to. And he's the person who protects him at school. Junior and Rowdy are starting their freshman high school year. It's the first day of math class, and Junior gets his textbook. He opens it up and finds his mother's maiden name on the first page. He realizes that that textbook is over 30 years old. He gets angry. That textbook becomes to him a symbol of everything that is wrong with the reservation and his life. He throws the book and strikes his teacher in the nose. Needless to say, Junior ends up suspended. During that suspension, that same math teacher comes to visit Junior. Junior apologizes to him for throwing the book. The teacher apologizes to Junior for the conditions at the school. He also tells Junior that he's smart and that he needs to leave the reservation and find a place where he can keep his hope. Junior talks to his parents and decides to leave the reservation school. This means going to Reardon, 22 miles away, an all-white high school. He needs to leave behind his best friend Rowdy, and he does have the courage to do this. Once he gets there, you can imagine what he goes through. He has one altercation with the alpha male of the school. He also feels very invisible. Eventually, Junior does make friends and meets the people, finds out about their problems, and starts to fit in. Junior tries out for the basketball team and surprises himself by making the varsity squad. Some of the most pivotal moments of this book occur when the Reardon team has to play the reservation team led by his ex-best friend Rowdy in the story. This book can be a little bit uncomfortable for some adults. It is written from a very realistic view of a 14-year-old boy who suffers from all those hormonal adolescent issues of 14-year-old boys, including one scene which describes Junior's philosophy on the exploration of your own body. Other things in the book are, it's pervaded by his drawings, which add a lot to the book, but a few of them some people may not like. There is also some offensive language, which I would consider along the lines of mild locker room humor sort of words. So those were, you know, maybe the most controversial things in the book. The good things about this book are the themes and the thought-provoking issues it raises. One of them, and there's a ton of them in this book, but the ones that really stood out for me was this 14-year-old boy's realization of the importance of hope and following your joy being an essential part of life and worthy of protection. I found that phenomenal in a 14-year-old. The other thing that's throughout this book is the courage portrayed in this book. That courage, the courage to leave your security and risk everything on the unknown, which Junior does. His courage to remain a true friend to Rowdy in the face of repeated rejection, and his courage to continue to let people into his life were amazing. I found this book to be a truly inspiring and remarkable story of one teen's coming of age.